distinguished guests, faculty, staff, family, friends, and fellow graduates. 13 years ago in September, this very attractive and well-rounded class that you all see seated before you was heading off to their first day of kindergarten. For some of us, it was an exciting day. We got to play in the sandbox, find Indian clay, swing, color, and of course, make new friends. And then there were the rest of us, the kids who could not let go of their parents' legs, the ones who probably never said a word until the third or fourth week of school. But eventually, we all got over it. The year went on and we grew up. We lived with the hope that next year, we wouldn't be at the bottom of the food chain. We'd be able to look down on the little kindergartners and intimidate them, because we were first graders. We couldn't wait for the future. Now as high school seniors, we can probably think back and see just how naive we were and how much we had to learn. Although we all have probably asked a teacher at one point this year if we could have nap time. And I mean, every high school senior loves a good box of chalk. Okay. Back then, these things seemed so little to us. They were just tiny things that didn't mean a whole lot. But now that we can look back, we realize that they made up the world. And I think the part about graduating that's just hard is when you finally have to say goodbye to all those little things. The part that's tough is what you have to do after any bad breakup, and that is to let go. I think though that this whole event is sort of like learning how to ride a bike. You have that one person you trust there, maybe someone watching you in the stands now, holding onto the bike while you pedal, and part of you honestly doesn't want them to let go. It's just that uncertainty. What if I fall down? What if I hurt myself? What if I make a mistake or take a wrong turn? And then another part of you tells you to just go. Part of you is dreaming for the day when you can leave your house by yourself and bike around your neighborhood like the totally pro stats kid you are. You dream of that freedom, and all you have to do is keep pedaling and let go. That's what this moment is right here. Our graduation, the end of our time together. Maybe we're a little scared, but it's only because of that uncertainty, that fear of failure, that fear of going off and doing something wrong. It's the fear of letting go of everything we've held so closely to our hearts for the past few years. We'll have to make our own choices, our own decisions, and it will ultimately be our life to live, not his or hers or theirs, ours. And the only reason we find it so hard to move forward is because there's so much to leave behind. When I look back on life, I want to remember all the great things we did here at Saxons. The hours spent studying for AP tests, the last minute finishing of scrapes until 4 in the morning, the day they were due, the countless hours spent at school either in practice for a sport or for a rehearsal. I want to remember that immediate feeling of relief when you walked outside of Saxon Hall during a dance and it instantly felt about 100 degrees cooler. I want to remember finally beating the juniors at our senior assembly. Or varsity football games on Friday nights. Or watching our boys basketball team own it up during their season. I want to remember how incredibly competitive everyone gets during Mind Madness and all the hard work and preparation that goes into making multicultural assembly amazing. But when I look back on my life, I want to have the assurance that what I left behind was great, but what I'm working at now is going to be even more incredible. A very caring and kind teacher once told me last year, when you graduate, don't let the door hit you on the way out. And I see what he meant now. There's a whole world out there waiting for us, so why be upset that you can't stay in one place forever? The point isn't to be sad because we have to go. The point is to look up at all these people who have somehow shoved themselves into the stands tonight for us and thank them for all their support and guidance. The point is to look over at the friend you made either on your first day of kindergarten or your first day of senior year and thank them for all the good memories they've given you. The point is to look back at the kid you were 13 years ago when you walked into that classroom and finally be able to say goodbye. The truth is that life is going to be a little bit uncertain, and sure, we might fall or make a wrong turn. But honestly, the only thing we can do when it gets a little tough is keep pedaling and let go. So congratulations to the class of 2012. We are finally done.
Thank you, Jazzy. Now for our second speaker,